Lori, there is a perception that here at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, there's a lot of erudite conversation, but no real substantive deal making. My next guest proves that entirely wrong. Howard Lutnick, the chairman and CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald and BGC. You have struck some unbelievably powerful deals here at Davos, correct?
I have. So years ago, I became friends with the gentleman who owned Newmark, Knight Frank. His name is Barry Gossam. And we became friends here. And every year we'd spend time together. And then we decided, we'd be great working together. So BGC bought his company. His company's revenues are up 5 times in the last 4 years. Profits up 10 times. We'll do over $1 billion in commercial real estate brokerage because I met Barry Gossam right here. He's my partner, a spectacular guy. And the business is doing brilliantly because, as you know, commercial real estate loves low interest rates.
You're actually in the middle of hostile, as in a hostile deal. Howard's been working the phones here at Davos because you're working on taking over GFI. Tell our viewers what that is and why you want it.
Well, so GFI has 2 assets. It's in a wholesale brokerage business, which BGC is in. So BGC is a broker. We don't make money if the markets go up. We don't make money if it goes down. We like when it's busy. So GFI has a lot of the same businesses we have, smaller obviously, so we work well together. And they have technology assets, which they had decided they were going to sell to the CME. So we are buying that company. We're trying to buy the company. It's a hostile takeover. We are $6.10 bid. We own about 13.5% of the company, which we bought in the 4s, so that's worked out quite well for us.
Yes.
Just saying. And I think it'll do brilliantly for the company. ISS, which is independent service that advises mutual funds, just sided with us yesterday and said that people should back our deal. So I'm very confident that we'll do well, and I think it'll do great for the stock. Our stock already has a 6% dividend, BGC, so I think adding this to it, the stock was up 70% last year, BGC, and I think if we add GFI, we got a shot at it again this year.
Well, a year ago, we told our viewers about that dividend at BGC, and had they listened, we hope you did, they would definitely be in the money. Let's talk about what you hope to see here in Davos. Is there anybody you want to hear or listen to, any of the panels in Davos this year?
Well, so this, in the next hour, we have what's called the governors of finance. So it's the CEOs of all the banks and insurance companies in the world get together and meet the central bankers, talk about global economy, talk about the change. So you get a sense of what everybody's feeling and talking about, and so you get sort of the heartbeat of finance. And so that we do that today. So it's all about ministers of finance all around the world, and all the regulators come in and talk to us. And then tomorrow, I meet lots of my clients in the morning, and then in the afternoon I try to learn something new. Generally, I seek out Nobel Prize winners of science. I mean, where else could I find? Last year I spent the afternoon with the gentleman who won the Nobel Prize in quantum physics from France, and he taught me all about quantum physics. And of course, my first question was, so tell me, what's quantum physics?
Yeah, E equals MC squared. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. But Howard, at the time where we are seeing many, many terrorist attacks around the world, I'm hearing from Tony Blair and a lot of the other prime ministers that this is front and foremost at the beginning of every conversation practically. You and Cantor, of course, having had such a horrific loss during 9/11, what do you make of the developments these days?
Well, I think people now see it as present, as something that could impact them, and so I guess they look at me and talk to me about it because they say, well, you understand, and they're worried about it. So I think, but people understand there's hacking, there's so many things going on. There's just more to think about and more to worry about. But that's the CEO's job. The CEO's job is to try to be forward-looking, try to figure out what's going to happen, what might happen. Look at all those foreign exchange companies that went out of business. They did not plan for the black swan event, right? They're sitting there giving 2% margin to people, and then when the Swiss franc went up 30% in one day, companies went out of business because their CEOs did not plan for what might happen.
They took their eye off all the balls, but it's hard to anticipate, isn't it? I mean, you got to look left, you got to look right. It's really tough.
It's really tough, but if you got it right, then your company will get through those kind of crises. So our companies did really well in 08 and 09 because we knew that the world just didn't feel right. It just didn't have that right sense to it. And I would say that is not how it feels today. very, very low interest rates keep sort of a nice balance under the economy. So the U.S., it's growing slowly. Okay, it's not very impressive, but you know what? It doesn't feel anything like it did then, so it feels pretty good.
You've been a dollar bull as we finish up. Do you continue to be after a pretty significant run-up of the greenback?
Oh, you gotta love the dollar. You just have to love the dollar because the U.S. has an economy, and the Fed is talking about raising interest rates right into when the rest of the world is finally talking about cutting them. So if our interest rates go up and theirs go down, people in the world store their money where there's higher interest rates, and up goes the dollar, up goes the dollar, up it goes.
Okay, there's your financial tip, investment tip for the day. Howard Lutnick, thank you so much.
Great to see you, Liz.
Heading into all kinds of phone calls about a hostile deal and making big meetings. Good luck finding your Nobel laureates. Thank you so much. We will send it back to you in New York, Lori.
All right, Liz, wonderful. Great stuff. Okay.